you going, Mitt? Oh, we almost had a Mitt sighting. Let's go, Rex. Good boy. See what we can see or can't see. Were you waiting long? Yeah, it's dark. The light came on the phone. Straight down low tide here on Monday, March 31st, 7:30 a.m. T-Rex is out the door. What's that? The boom of an excavator going by. Steve is out the door. Let's see what we can see, which is not much. Why is it so dark out? Well, there's a 25,000 foot cloud reaching up 5 miles and touching down on the ground. And oh wow, it's almost 3 degrees warmer than it's been the last 2 mornings in a row. It's still 42 degrees outside. It is colder here on the Weymouth Big Dig than it is on the top of Mount Washington. The cold, high pressure system, which caused so much trouble with that ice storm in Ontario and parts of New England. That is a long boom, huh? The warm air is finally overwhelming the pattern, and we will end up in the 60s with maybe some sunshine in parts of southern New England. There's Jim just waved to us. Haven't seen Jim in a while. It's been a while. So they're down there taking advantage of this new moon low tide. Look at all that room on the beach right now for working. They're not really on the beach, although here comes the big excavator. That one was the long boom. And so we got the Weymouth Big Dig, we got the weather, and here's the temperature map this morning. And I put the dew point on there because when the temperature and the dew point are the same, Boston 41 over 41, that is a saturation situation, and it's a classic warm front thing where you get this very thick cloud, and you see parts of just Metro West 39 over 39, and then you go to the top of Vermont, the Champlain Valley, we're already in the upper 40s and lower 50s, and in New York and Pennsylvania in the 60s. So Euro for the win in the 13-day forecast. I showed this 13 days ago from the weather.us site and said, who's going to win, the Euro or the GFS? When in the 13-day forecast, the Euro was 70 and the GFS was in the 30s with snow for Boston today. And so we've been talking about this now for 2 weeks. The battle royale, and the Euro won, and the warm air is overwhelming the pattern in New England today. It was back then, we were still in a warm pattern. A warm wave came in and kind of ended our 65 days in a row with snow or whatever that was. And we had 2 weeks of melting and warmth. And I said, well, the wave pattern with the wave, TK wave theory would favor another cold wave toward April Fool's. Well, we certainly had that cold wave last week, moving the dial on the snow stake from 78 inches back up to 98 inches, and now it's going to go down again. So we had a great week there of snow, but now we're back in the warm wave for today, and we do have a minor cold wave coming in tomorrow. Here's that Boston 10-day from now, looking forward 10 days, and you can see we're all in the 60s today with a little sunshine. Tomorrow, colder air is only going to gradually come into southern New England, and then Wednesday morning we may actually have a freeze in Boston. Sun's out, beautiful spring ski day on Wednesday. And then Thursday, there goes the temperature back up and more rain coming at us. Sort of the same thing we had going on over much of the winter, where there was plenty of cold around, but every time a storm came along, it was warm enough for rain in the Boston area and a wintry mix north. And that is the forecast going forward. But we have a lot to deal with. There's an ongoing severe weather outbreak right now. Look at the lightning map. Mississippi and Louisiana just electrified. There have been hundreds of reports of severe weather south of the ice storm, and even in areas that had the ice storm, there was severe weather yesterday. There's the radar, and you can see the severe storm warnings and tornado warnings there heading at the Mississippi Delta. And you even got a little lightning up near New England. We may have a thunderstorm around here today, but not expecting severe weather. The front is shearing out. The surface analysis this morning, if I show you the tight look at area north of New England, that old cold high, still generating 33 degrees below zero this morning in northern Quebec. That's that cold high pressure system, high pressure with dense air that's been oozing beneath the warm air. That's a weird way of saying it, but it is. It's almost like cold air is like molasses. It flows slowly downhill and it's tough to erode. And the warm air is going to take its time pushing it out. But there's the analysis closer to us, and it's about a 998 low there, moving up through the Great Lakes into Ontario. And look at that warm front. That warm front is up against this cold air damming, cold air on the east side of our mountains and over our ocean. The water temperature here is still 42. And so whenever you have the water at 42 and the snow-covered mountains, that snow temperature is freezing, you have the fog, dense fog. And look at the view this morning at the base of Mount Mansfield. Yeah, got fog, but at least ski resorts are recovering, although there's still some icing. I didn't actually check to see if Killington was open today. I'm assuming Killington opened today after being shut yesterday. So many areas in southern Vermont did indeed have to cease operations and focus on cleanup and restoring electricity yesterday with that ice storm. We're done with that. Although this morning in Caribou, Maine, I know it's way up there, it was snowing at 5 a.m. and then it went to freezing rain and 30 degrees by 7 a.m. But that counts as day 10 in a row of New England snow. And that's it for the days in a row. Actually, you know what? It may snow in northern New England tomorrow, so maybe we're not done with that streak. We'll talk about that, but it's definitely not a snowy or cold pattern anymore. Here's what's going on. They'll go to the NAM and do the play-by-play on the precipitation coming at New England today. There's the last of the icing in the red well north, moving north. And then most of us are not raining today, but when it does rain, it can rain pretty hard with an isolated shower or thunderstorm, but breaks of sunshine. Some spots will be 70 degrees today. Springtime. And then tonight, the front comes into eastern New England. It slows down and there's a wave of low pressure. And it looks like a line of showers and thunderstorms does redevelop late and around maybe 2Z, 3Z, that's 10, 11 o'clock, thunderstorm in Boston. So we may have some nocturnal convection. That's thunder overnight, heading down to Cape Cod after midnight. Northern New England's getting colder, and there'll be a refreeze so that, at least at the tops of the mountains, there'll be a refreeze for fast skiing tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow, not much going on. That rain's shut off. It's breezy, and in the upper elevations, it'll be in the 20s, but in southern New England, we'll still be in the 50s with sunshine and a breeze. High pressure moving in. And then this takes us out to Wednesday. After a freezing start in a lot of places, it's going to warm up with sunshine fading. And 2 p.m., there's a little bit more wintry mix there coming into Ontario and the Great Lakes. That'll be advancing into New England on Wednesday night and Thursday. Ultimately, another storm going to our north. Why don't we go right to that? Check on the animals. It's very unusual that they're not doing anything. Oh, look at maybe some grass starting to grow in there. Steve, what are you doing? You must be stuck, huh? T-Rex is wanting to go back in, and we want to go to the GFS. Not the GFS, sorry. I'm just so used to saying that at the beginning of March, and where'd that get me? Nowhere. Almost wish casting that the GFS 14 days ago had a major nor'easter with snow in Boston today. Yeah, that's true. That's how bad it was. And so now we're going to go to the Euro. It's also called the real name is the ECMWF, and I use Pivotal Weather. You can get that for free with ads, but I subscribe. And there's the powerful low going up into Canada, and the showers and thunderstorms diminishing and then refiring tonight. And the temperature will jump into the 60s and 70 degrees in southern New England. It will stay rather warm overnight. And then the cold air is going to come in right about sunrise tomorrow for southern New England. Freezing weather in northern New England, but the sun is out. We've got confluent flow aloft, a confluent flow aloft with high pressure, that sinking air that makes blue sky. And tomorrow night, radiational cooling. And so that means on Wednesday morning, we may have a freeze. There may be a little ice in my bucket by Wednesday morning. Not a lot, though. Wednesday, a nice day. Wednesdays have been the day without much wind, and that's going to be the case most of the day, but it's going to come in from the south as all of a sudden there's another storm causing major problems, another coast-to-coast storm. And that drives to our north, and as that happens, snow in northern New England changes to red, freezing rain. It should be nowhere near as bad as the one we just had. And not much going on in southern New England there on Thursday, as that low goes to our north. Then Thursday night, cold front presses south. Maybe rain changes back to snow before ending north. Some rain to start off the day on Friday at the south coast as we get into cooler air, but not really cold, not a hard freeze at all. Even in the mountains, it doesn't look too cold. So nice soft snow on Friday if you're still in ski mode. It seems like that's all I talk about, isn't it? I don't really shut that off until later April. And great gardening weather here in southern New England. And then Saturday, it is another storm coming out of the parade of March storms evolving into a parade of April storms coming in here. Saturday night, again, almost the same thing where you get a wintry mix north, rain and south, and freezing rain central with the red and the blue and the snow in the north lifting out and changing to rain again Saturday night into Sunday morning. And then here comes Monday. Oh my goodness. In 7 days, all the guidance agrees that there is going to be a late season Arctic air mass coming into southeastern Canada. Those thicknesses I always talk about, 510, 504. It does not look as dramatic as yesterday, but it's a positive tilt trough and a big upper level low pressure system to our north as that colder air comes back in a week from now. So it looks like we could have a freeze, but if we freeze it there on April 9th at 8 p.m., that's a 979 low pressure system to our north, not a high. So that's low barometer cold, opposite of what we have now. That means it's very cold up in the sky, but less cold down near the ground, and there are no storms around. So this just means possible upslope snow, a little bit, and very cold for this time of year. But when the sun comes out, it warms up, opposite of these high barometer cold when you hide to the north. And it doesn't show any storminess. It shows the mostly quiet coast to coast, but the guidance is going back and forth on whether we're going to actually get a storm to develop. Yesterday it had one, the day before it did, now today it does not. So now this is our day 10 dilemma. Will there be another snowstorm in New England? It's getting to be now the middle of April. I would think odds say not, but never say never. All right, I'll do the coast to coast snow as we come down here and look at the rain gauge. Coast to coast snowfall. California and Colorado is the place you want to be if you want to do some new powder skiing. New England, we've got enough snow in the bank to keep us going, but a little bit of snow tries to form here on Wednesday night to Thursday, and that lifts into Canada. So in the east, any snow is even north of those ski areas in Quebec. It's raining all the way to those ski areas up the St. Lawrence River Valley, Quebec City. St. Anne will be raining. And then the weekend, another little dose of snow for New England in the highest elevation. So there are dribs and drabs, and there may be additional snowfall, but I don't see any more powder skiing here. You have to go west for that. But it is week 24 in a row of coast-to-coast snow. All right, we can empty out another 0.03 of rain, so that gets us up to 1/10 of an inch of rain in the last 3 days. Tonight's the night I think we're going to push that thing higher. Yeah, I didn't show it. I'll show the QPF for from the NAM, that high resolution model. QPF being how much rain is going to fall, and it is going to be all rain. Just scattered around tonight. I mean, this afternoon. Then tonight it really picks up, and the purple is an inch. So there are going to be spots with thunderstorms and an inch of rain in parts of southeastern and southern New England. Areas that have been so dry the last couple of days get the most tonight and tomorrow. All right, that's it for the weather department. There's T-Rex. He's going to go up the stairs and go inside. And this has been my rain bucket all year long. It started right on December 31st. And we'll see if we can't get this rain no longer the ice bucket, although I will leave it in. There may be a skim of ice on Wednesday morning. This bucket will overflow, as will the vernal pools. Great news, gardens, and such. Yesterday was a really lazy day. I was just watching Mark Robinson in Ontario chase weather all day long, talking about he's never seen an ice storm like this, but the trees will recover. And people in Ontario so hard hit, and then in the same spots, all he had to do was go a little bit south, and by the end of the day, he was covering severe weather as thunderstorms. And oh, look at the geese. Look at the geese. Oh, cool. All right. Fly by. Thank you. And more from yesterday. was it? I love all the comments, by the way. Thank you for the comments about the Killington situation and what was it? Cardinals in a Pussy Willow. Yeah, I want to write a song called Cardinals in a Pussy Willow, and there was a cardinal in the Pussy Willow just a few seconds ago. I really appreciate all the comments, and I can't memorize all those the same way I can memorize the weather. Talk louder when you're zooming in. Here's the and more from yesterday. Who's walking who? Yeah, we know who's the boss around here, don't we? Here are the Cardinals. The wind is just about ready to come around from the south. The air is pretty still. Are we going to see the sun? No sun, just jets, still taking off toward the east. I love encountering these random patches. Well, everything needs to be fertilized. Nothing coming up. Yeah. Random patches of daffodils. Planted by somebody at some point. Here at the Big Dig. Very high tide now. I don't think it's done going up. Oh yeah, it did. It crested. Going out now. Our resident lovebirds. They're always hanging out right next to each other. And we conclude this day pretty much how we started, which is not in a hurry. We did a good job of accomplishing pretty close to nothing today. Come on, Steve, let's go. And the sky looks about the same. It's actually a little bit more drizzly out. It's still chilly. We still have warmer air overrunning the colder air. Let's close the door and call it a day. Has the temperature moved? Oh yeah, we moved from 39.5 to 41.5. But what's remarkable, what's going on all around here? Well, we had such a quiet day in North Weymouth. Oh, this is the same cardinal that started the day. Can you quite see it? The red in there? Beautiful. So it's springtime. But this is really anomalous for any time of year. On Mount Washington right now, it's 47 degrees at 4,000 feet, and it's 27 degrees, 1,700 feet below that at 2,300 feet. That's a remarkable inversion. Cold air is heavy, and these layers of cold are still holding on in New England, and the radar here at 6 p.m., extraordinary. You know, Michigan and Ontario were really hard hit with the ice storm. Now here are severe storms, and those reds are tornado warnings. Of course, this is all now yesterday because this is the Sunday data on a Monday. Extraordinary storm, and the images coming out of especially Ontario are kind of heartbreaking. A severe ice storm, and we'll recover. And the trees will be okay eventually, but power is out, and now we have these heavy rains coming through with the warm air and the wind. While here in Weymouth, we're still cold and gray, and it's hardly rained at all. So our rain just came in, continues overnight tonight. Tonight, meaning both nights, both our Sunday and our Monday. And the webcam was fixed. Thank you, Michael McCormick. I rebooted it, and you gave me my YouTube address back. So we have Weymouth and Dennis time-lapse from today. In Weymouth, I think the most striking thing is watching the water come up and then watching the water go down on this day after the full moon. And there it is. There's the really low tide happening right now. Touch of drizzle. There's bass rock sticking out of the water just about as much as it does ever because the pull of the moon and the sun on the same side of the earth. And Cape Cod, where it probably doesn't look too different. You can't really see the water going up and down in Fallon's Pond though, can you? So cold air continues to undermine the warmth here in New England at this point, which is Sunday. But now on Monday, we are warming up 65 to 70 degrees for the cold front, and all kinds of new weather coming at us. Parade of April storms commences now. Oh, what do you know? Look who suddenly decided to join us. Steve. Nobody look at the camera. It's Mitt. Hi, Mitt. Thanks for coming out. You're a crowd pleaser. But you work on your own schedule, especially a Not in a Hurry Sunday. Any chance you could just smile for the camera for a moment? I'm playing hard to get. Okay. Thanks for joining us. Talk to you tomorrow.